It is the #1 most deadly operation in plastic surgery.
That's probably the biggest DBL that I've ever seen.
Yeah, so the flat areas you're concerned about are where? Here?
Yeah, see, you knew exactly where to go.
If a person were to have concerns about flattening, this is the area they would have concerns in. And typically people, when they have this much fat put in, have very hard areas. And you don't have any tender areas?
No.
You've done very well. I'm surprised that Patricia hasn't had any complications because that, at the end of the day, is too much fat and it is very dangerous. You do have a couple little smaller ridge areas, but let me just tell you something, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, okay? You have been very lucky. When you fill up a fat compartment, there's basically 3 things in that compartment: arteries, veins, and the fat. The arteries and veins are aware that there's more stuff that needs to be supplied with oxygen, and you get bigger arteries and bigger veins. But as you put more and more fat in there, it's being displaced into areas it can go to, which is the arteries and veins. These veins are connected to the main veins, which lead to the lung. If you get fat that goes over to the lung and blocks off, you don't just get a little short of breath, you die.
No matter what type of surgery, you're always taking that chance. Like, you never know if you're gonna be able to open your eyes, like, once you're done. So I really, really, really appreciate the information.
Do not let anybody stick any more fat in that buttock.
I sense the genuine.
Oh, yeah. What I like about Patricia is, as opposed to a lot of patients who come to us, she's listening to us, and we're getting through to her, and enough is enough. Let's have a look at what's really going on, okay? Let's see.
That's good.
Okay, so hold this right there. I'm just gonna shake you a little bit. I just wanna see how loose it is. Right, shake it. So it is really loose. Jana's butt implants are so big that when she twerks, her buttock implants twerk independently of herself. I mean, they have their own zip code.
You know, I mean, what, can I ask you a question?
Look at this. Then we do this one.
Okay.
Look at that one.
Can you stop
No,
screwing
I mean,
around?
it's interesting that
Jesus.
she can control each one individually.
I'm very serious in front of my patients, so a lot of it stuff for me is inappropriate. For me, that is. Terry loves it all.
This feels like a silicone breast implant.
Yeah, but I have to tell you, it almost feels like it's under the muscle, though.
Does you think this is a 650cc implant?
This is a 650.
That's like a double D implant.
I have a great idea for you. If you already have the pocket open and you've taken these things out, put a small, real butt implant in.
Then we're gonna get into a flipped implant situation. That's exactly what happened to that woman from Vegas that we had.
This is my implant flipping backwards.
You have a big mass right here, huh?
Tell me that
We
you
are
can't-
not
okay.
doing that.
I need my body to still hold its curve. My looks is what gets me paid.
Knowing that this is gonna droop, you probably are gonna need a buttock lift. How do you feel about a scar that probably removes most or all of your tattoo?
I feel great about that. I don't like this tattoo anyway, so you can just go ahead and take that puppy right out.
All right, well, I think we have a plan.
It's been a big obstacle in my life. I am so relieved that somebody's willing to operate on my ass.
So did you have a buttock like this once?
Oh my God, it was fantastic.
Really?
But then I quit smoking and it all went to hell.
Are we gonna get a little shaky from you a little bit here?
Oh, well, hell yeah. Well, I
me
can't
see
do
this.
that.
Show him, Grandma. That's where I got it from.
You see Terry go like this to me. He's looking at me to see what kind of rise I'm getting. That's what he's doing. He knows me, I'm gonna get uncomfortable with it, and yes, I was. A combination of thoughts are running through my mind. Shock, intrigue, even fear of what really is in there.
How did you get to this place? What did you have injected into your buttock?
The lady who injected me told me that it was hydrogel. I don't know if that was popular when it came to...
Yeah. Hydrogel is a synthetic polymer called polyacrylamide, which is a gel that when injected into the body, attracts water and gets incorporated into the tissue. The problem is that incorporation can have a very significant immunologic reaction and can lead to potential serious disasters. Do you have pain?
No, I don't have any pain yet.
Okay.
But my butt, if you press into it, you feel stuff.
So are there hard areas?
Yes.
There are hard areas.
It's all those granulomas.
Yeah, okay.
And I
the-
have discoloration.
And discoloration, the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. That's what we call it. PIH is what we call it. What are your goals?
I want to try to remove them and have a smaller butt.
Why don't we go in the exam room and take a look and see if we can figure out what...
Doc, you might need a drink before we go in here. I might need a drink.
All right.
People are intrigued with this butt. They need to know what's going on. I need to know what's going on with this butt.
I just want to feel the compartment. Sometimes when you transfer fat to the cheeks, instead of it taking, it dies, and you can get these big masses and nodules, fat necrosis. You don't appear to have had any of that yet. How much do you think this weighs? Lift this up. Seriously, lift this up. How much would you estimate that weighs?
It's probably about a good 30 pounds.
Yeah, I would say it's about 30 pounds. Natasha's buttock is almost as big as Paul's head. One thing I can tell you, Natasha, what we are seeing an explosion of in this country is that as opposed to getting into the areas that you want it, the fat gets into the large veins, it goes up to your lungs and blocks the circulation to your lungs. That's called a fat embolus. That cuts off your ability to oxygenate your system, and that kills people. In Florida, in the last 6 months, this has happened 12 times. It is the #1 most deadly operation in plastic surgery.
I'm really shocked. I thought Brazilian butt lift was the safest of them all because it's your own fat.
Having said this, I want to know, Natasha, you're done?
No.
You're going to keep doing this? Are you going to let her do any more buttock surgery?
I'm not going to encourage it. I am concerned now about Natasha. Really, it just needs a little drop of fat to get into the system and you can die. I was never told that. I wouldn't do it myself.
The good thing about this is, one, now you know what the risks are.
Exactly.
You should talk to your doctor. Maybe in a way he might recommend smaller amounts to minimize the risks.
That's the best advice we can give you, okay?
Yeah.
And so I hope you'll take it to heart and consider it very carefully. Pleasure meeting you, Natasha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Pleasure
you.
meeting you, Tina.
I started with the goal, and I'm gonna do whatever I want.
You're gonna hate me now.
No.
New rules.
No rules. I would rather live a short life that is like 50 years and do whatever I want to do instead of living longer life but boring. Come on. No one wants a boring life.
You're just lucky it hasn't moved around too much. I think the shape change we're seeing in Kasha's buttock is due to the hydrogel moving around. You have to cut the whole section out because the filler incorporated into the tissue. I remove that, I do some tucking to take up the loose skin, but I also do a buttock lift to bring it up. The healing time, it could be 3 to 6 months.
When I will be able to take enough time to rest and heal.
Come to me, I will work some magic. Can you flip this around? This thing moves too. I won't do it.
Tried.
But you could flip this around. Wow. Okay, you can get your hand entirely under the implant. This implant was just put in like a breast implant on top of muscle. This is wrong.
I didn't realize the severity of my right implant. Really shocked to know that. I thought it was always the left buttocks, not the right.
The whole thing is completely scarred in and pushed up. Buttock implants is not a very common operation. Therefore, there's no textbook, there's no journal article, there's really very little information about how to deal with buttock implant problems. What are the options? You have pain, so the implants have to come out. We know that for sure. They're coming out. You might think, why not just take the implants out, put a new pair in the muscle, and do it properly. Here's the problem with that. Your muscle and your buttock are normally attached, so that when you put them in the muscle, everything goes up equally. Now, they've been separated, and your skin, your buttock skin, has now been stretched out. So if we put an implant in the muscle, your buttock skin will sort of do its own independent thing. The other option, take them out, knowing the skin's gonna hang, and do a buttock lift. That's a big scar across a really good-looking buttock.
I fought hard for these implants, and I was willing to keep them as long as possible, but I know that the best decision would be to eliminate the pain, and if the implants have to go, then I have to say goodbye.